Hi, it's David here with Future Trading. We're going to do some real-time analysis on several different markets. So, if you're new to the channel, you're more than welcome to, of course, comb through all the information here. I'll try to outline what it is that we're about to do here. Is the universal trend, the universal price action method. And it's going to be in real time. So, this is going to be about 30 minutes. So, it's not going to all air on TikTok. If you are trying to view it on TikTok, you're going to want to come over to the channel to of course, view the rest of it. And I'll have a link in the message board there. So there's the trading guide. This is the trading guide, and almost I'm not going to cover everything in this list. Maybe about three things in this list, but definitely highlighting these two. All right, so these two are really, really important. I want you to be able to pull up the chart and immediately know what is likely. So we're going to do about 30 minutes, and we're going to put the video here and here because we need to add to this section for those that want to learn. Okay, now this is the location. This is your edge. All right, so when you come to the channel, the first thing you're going to want to do is, of course, learn this stuff here, because once you learn that, you're going to want to try to combine the location. You're going to try to combine the location. Now on NinjaTrader, I have the ranges that'll draw for me. I'll try to get to that, but of course, that's something I'm just not really wanting to do because it's all about this. It's all about this. But this is your edge. I will go over the range, and I will talk about the static levels as well as the chart scale to kind of give you an idea of what that is. But the no touch method is the universal price action method. So if you just want to go straight to learning what that is, you can do that here. All of these videos talk about it, and they're all in real time. And so here, this is the trend. Now, if you want to just go straight and learn what the trend is, that's there. All right. Now, again, all in real time. Now, if you want to learn some other content, I've tried to make some videos the last about 2 days here, trying to give you some other aspects of becoming a full-time trader, some skills and aspects. All right. So some other information you'll want to know. All right. And there's a few videos here. Again, I tried to make this section for those that want to learn just a little bit more outside of the chart. So you're more than welcome to take a look at that. And again, this is going to be in real time. So if you would like, yes, subscribe. And thank you for my newest subscriber. Thank you for joining us. If you want, you can subscribe to the channel. Definitely hit the like button. Okay. If you find anything of any use that I'm going to share with you, hit the like button, show some support because I'm drawing up charts here and I want to make sure that you are profitable and that you get this information in a condensed, digestible way and profit immediately. That's really, really important. There's too much stuff going on online that's of course it's just not favorable. So I'm trying to fill that void. All right. So if you can just subscribe or either hit the like button. All right. So yesterday, now if you are new and you haven't watched any of my videos, yesterday I covered the Forex and stocks. All right. So I covered that. And so we'll just take a look at what's happening with that as well to kind of get you an eye on that. And I did cover that this morning, but I can pull that up at the end and let you look at the chart and see what's happening with that. All right. So now. So in yesterday's video, I had these boxes. I had drew these boxes when price was here. Price was here using the chart scale. Now that's in that video with the range is the edge. The range is the static levels as well as the chart scale. And so what you're doing with the chart scale, uh, you want to divide it in half. That's the first thing you want to do. Cut it in half. Just divide it right in half. Just put a horizontal line right on there. And when I say the scale right here, all of these prices, it from top to bottom, you're just going from the top of the frame, bottom of the frame, and then putting a line right on the halfway point. No indicators, no, so you pull up chart, I want you to be able to see what's happening. All right, so middle of the chart, upper part of the chart, divide that in half, and then of course the lower part of the chart, divide that in half. Okay, really important that you do that. It's very simple, but that's one way to get your location. So if you don't want to have ranges, just do that. All right. Now, as you can tell, I did say in yesterday's video when they were coming back off the high after telling them that they should go up because we had our trend. The trend is the 7 bars. They have to be 7 green bars. All right. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 7. So they supposed to go the distance of the 7, and they had gapped up, and so they gave you like twice the distance. And I told you in yesterday's video recap that they were still bullish, and so all they did was come down to the box that I drew yesterday and turned around. Is the goal is to be ahead of the candlesticks with the edge. That's the most important part. And so now let's go and look at the pound USD. I covered that yesterday as well. They actually did this on yesterday. They went into the box. Okay, now this is the 7 bars. They supposed to go the distance of the 7 bars, and they did it twice. All right. So now when they were coming down, and I told everyone in yesterday's video when price was here on the green bar that they were about to hit a wall if they didn't want to keep going up, and they fell from the center of the chart down, and then they used the lower half of the chart and fell again. So now they're at the center of the chart. This is an hourly, but we're going to dive down into a 1 minute and start combing through some of this information that I'm disclosing to you. So just giving you an idea, the scale, the price scale without the ranges are important. All right. So you can utilize that information there. And that's, that can be your location. So if I don't draw the ranges on the chart, I'm just trying to, make sure I draw emphasis to the trend and the price action method. So but that's a one easy way I can explain to you how to find the location. That's important. Another one we'll talk about if I can see price at those places, price on the prices on the static levels. I'll definitely highlight that information as well. So let's get down to a 1 minute because we need to comb through this information about, I'll say 20. Let's do 20 minutes, about 20 minutes. We'll do about 20 minutes. So it's roughly 10:25 right now. And so we're going to do this for about 20 minutes. All right. So now this is pound. This is the pound USD. So this is okay. This is just the 1 minute. I thought I had switched it. All right. So let's do the pound USD right now. So they're climbing. All right. So they're climbing. That's fine. Now I'm not gonna mark on every chart. I'm not marking up every chart. I'm really not. But let's just get this one going first. Let's get this going. Let's find. I'm not a I'm not a user of this platform so much, and that's why I don't want to like tie up this information trying to draw up the chart. Usually when I draw up the chart, it's because I already had time to of course do it before I get on here and try to express to you what's happening. So I'm not going to spend a great deal of drawing the chart because it will waste a lot of time. So here's the halfway point of the chart. And so what you do, the first thing you'll want to do, this is easy. Just look at the halfway point of the chart. But definitely find your 7 bars. And we got 7 bars up here. We don't have 7 bars down. So don't believe that it's going down. It's not. So I don't care if you see the big red bar coming in, don't go down. Whatever you do, don't do it. All right. So this can be a hard stop as well as this. So they should turn back around. But if they don't, once you get to a high, and you can find all this information right in the trading guide playlist, every time they break a pivot, okay, or bar for that matter, you want to see consecutive closes, meaning back to back, 1, 2. So if you're new to trading, this should help. 1, 2, back to back immediately. Every time they get above a high of a bar, 1, 2, immediately you want to see them close, and that indicates that they can continue on. And then of course the stop would be behind this bar. Now that's not the price action method. The price action method is this. I want to see it show up in real time so I can really stress it to you. But just to give you an idea, the high, the top of the bar, if you knew, the top of the bar, the bottom of the bar is the low. So the high of the bar is not touching, it's below. Let's say it's below the halfway point. If you divide this candle in half, it's below the halfway point of this candle. So this bar's high top is below the halfway point of this candle. It can go some more. Just that simple. So when you trying to learn trading, that's how you do it. You want to do something that's very, very simple. So here, if you divide the upper half of the chart, this information right here would be a no close hard stop here. Maybe they'll turn from right here, maybe. But if not, let's say they come down some more. All right, that's fine. When they come down this way, then we'll talk about what I just said. Let's see if they'll, of course, go through here, 1 bar down, 1 bar back up and turn back around, because you don't want to see them put 2 back-to-back closes beneath this pivot. And so if they came down, here's the scenario. You got to look for the price action method, the universal price action method. This bar's high is below the midpoint, the halfway point of this candle. That's a no close level. And then this is a hard stop. If you get the midpoint, the halfway point to be into the prior candle, that's choppiness. All right. So it'll just kind of stall you out and go back and forth on you and just really annoy you to try to change your mind about where it's going. Now, here, the midpoint, halfway point is below the low or the bottom of this candle. It may push some more. It could wind up here. It can. All right. So that's just how it works. Now, if you want to go with the consecutive close aspect, again, that's another price action method I release. There's a couple of them I released, but that's another one. You can do that. Now, because this midpoint is falling beneath this bar's low bottom, okay, hard stop here, no close here. But remember, this is a no close bar. We don't want them closing under this bar, and we want a hard stop here if it's to turn around and go back up. But while it's moving, while it's coming down, this is what they're doing currently, saying that, hey, we got enough strength to come down more. So now we're going to take a look at this one. We're going to comb through several, but let's just stay here for just a moment longer to see what this turned into, and then we'll come back. And this is the pound USD, and we'll come back to it and we'll give it a chance to develop. I know that they should get above here. Absolutely. They're going to wind up above here. I wholeheartedly believe that, know that. I really, really know that. So they should get above here. Now, someone is willing to sell this area, and there's reasons why I know that this won't work, and I can't tell you. That's all. And so they should get above here. So let's see where they turn around here. Now, can they go back down? Yes, they can go back down. I'm not worried about the hourly. You only want to trade the time frame that you're looking at. That's another important fact that you need to know. Trade the time frame you're looking at. See how this bar's mid halfway point is below that low, and they're still trying to come down more. Okay, now I know they can get past here too. I do. There's stuff that I can tell you about these turns that, there's ones that will hold the market, and there's ones that won't. Okay, I know they can get past it, but we are trying to cover the universal price action method and the trend. So now let's get our high. Let's get our high. And you can look over here in the upper left part here. The H is the high, the low, the bottom is the low, the high is the top, and that's okay, the H. So now let's get our high here. 840. So let's just go 840. What is this high here? 841. So they made a new high. Okay, that's fine. Remember, when they break the highs, you want to see if they'll go 1, 2, and of course, keep going if they can. But oftentimes they won't. They'll break the high. You can see here they broke the high here and then came right back and closed inside the high. Okay, so they came back down and closed inside the high once they broke it. So it's difficult to try to get into it on the breaks. That's the reason why they do that. They make it hard for you. Now here, this was good when they broke this high, the top of this red bar. Okay, because they pushed up first. First it was this high. They went up, came back down on that same bar, but then this was a high because that's a new high, and they tried to reverse it. So when they came back up and they gave you 1, 2, when they dip back down, they should go again. Simple stuff. All right, now let's get this low because they look like they stopped at it. So remember, the low is the L, and that's the bottom. So 710. What is this low? 709. So they went outside of it. All right, so they triggered that. That's fine. Remember, you just don't want a no close here because this bar's high is below the midpoint, the halfway point of this bar. So no close here, hard stop here. Let's see if they can honor that. Let's see. And that's still above the halfway point of the chart. Still above the halfway point. Now, this would be the no close here, and that would be the hard stop because that scenario is midpoint here, halfway point is below this bar's low. All right, so they can go up there and they may respond a bit and come back this way. Now, remember what I told you. If your midpoint is falling into the prior bar, you may run into a problem. Now here, it can still work because this bar's high. Okay, this bar's high. We don't care the color. The high is below the midpoint here, I believe. I'm eyeballing it. Okay, I'm eyeballing it. Some are very apparent. No, NinjaTrader is very apparent because I got the indicator to do it for me. But it looks like that may be the case. So that would be a hard stop and a no close. Now let's see if they'll honor this bar and then turn around and go back up. Let's see. They're still beneath the midpoint of the upper part of the chart. Okay, so the midpoint is here of the chart, roughly here. And they're right around the midpoint of the upper part of the chart. Remember, this adjusts a bit. It does adjust a little bit. So let's just make it wide enough so if it adjusts, you can still kind of see that that's the midpoint. And so then you divide this upper part in half. Now remember, because this red bar's high, now I'm eyeballing this, is below the midpoint of this bar, this is supposed to be a hard stop and a no close bar. Now let's see if it'll turn around. It don't have to. It can come down some more. It can. We just don't want to see them close beneath here. We don't want to see that, and want to see if they'll keep that hard stop in place. All right. So let's see what happens. Again, I believe that they can go past this high, but we'll see. We will see. Now let's go to some other markets while that's moving. Let's do a stock. This is still in an uptrend. All right. It's still let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you only have 5 bars here. So you have 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 lower. It's still an uptrend. That's still a buy. And so what you would do, you would look here You will look here, okay, and find that scenario. Now let's see, did it come down? Yeah, it came down here. This red bar is high. The top of the red bar isn't touching that midpoint. Okay. Now they had it on the way up here, and when they leaned over, this bar's high here isn't touching that bar's midpoint. And so when they leaned down, hard stop here or no close. They tried to stay above the low, the bottom of this bar, but they couldn't hold it and they fell. That's fine. Hard stop on the green one. Now you had both scenarios here, okay, and you even have it on this scenario here. So when it comes down, as long as it's not a downtrend, look for that universal price action method with the universal trend and go back the other way. And again, if you win, it's this. If you win, it's this. I can promise you. Doesn't matter what you're using, trend lines, moving averages, order flows, stochastic, it doesn't matter. If you win, it's this. It's just as simple as that. All right. So now there's so many other things that I can tell you about the bar, just one bar. But this is very simple and something that could help you if you're trying to learn trading. All right. So our scenario is definitely on these two bars. All right, so both of these would be no touch bar, no close beneath bars. You don't want them to close beneath either one of these. And this one would be the hard stop below here and a hard stop below here. So you don't even want to really, you don't want to pass this guy right here. Let's just go hard stop here. You don't want to pass there. Center of the chart, okay, center of the chart at a glance. No sooner you pull up the chart, center of the chart, upper half of the chart. You want to try to keep them up there. So let's see what they'll do. Let's come back to that. Apple. Yeah. So the same thing. One, two, three, four, five. That's six, not seven. So they're still up. Okay. So they're still up. And you look to the left, you're still in the upper part of the chart. You're still at the halfway point, all right, of the upper part of the chart. Look left. Yeah, this one could do. This one could definitely do. All right. So the low, let's get that low. Low 95.45, low 95.55. So it stayed above it. Now 55 is a static level. All right, so 55 is the static levels. 55 down to 45. You don't want them to go past 45. All right, so that's important. If they're coming, south, you don't want them to go past 45. If they're coming north, coming up to 55, it would be 65 from above. All right, so really simple stuff. You can learn all the numbers in the trading guide video. So now leaning over, so you got to break up a high. Remember, I told you one up, one back down. They can go outside the high. You want consecutive closes. If that's not going to happen, well, they'll come back. Now you have that scenario here with the no close here, hard stop here. This is a no close here, hard stop here. You kind of got it throughout this whole process. Now, clearly, they can come past one or two of them. They can. Sometimes when they turn after a break of a new high, you got to give a little bit of room, just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit. You see how you got the break of the high here. That scenario was here. This bar's high is below this bar's mid. That's a hard stop here. All right. Now, it's supposed to have been a no close, but they just broke that new high. They lean over, and then they pushed again. All right. So that would have worked, but then, of course, they ended up falling through. So now they're putting the scenario to the downside. So let's see if they'll drop just a bit more. So this bar's mid is falling below the low, the bottom of the red bar. So that would be a no close here, hard stop here. Now, you can't be on both sides, and that's why it's important to find your trend. Where's the middle of the chart, the upper half of the chart, and then just go with one direction. That's called burn rate if you're going both directions. You don't want to burn up your account trying to trade in both directions. Just trade one way. I'm all about trend trading. I tried to emphasize just a little bit of information about reversals this morning, just a little bit to help those that want to do that. There's several requirements. I am not someone that's going to, of course, promote you doing this, but using not just when but where. Okay, so there's several requirements. I tried to discuss at least two of them in there. And so if you want to learn how to do that, I suggest start with learning what the trend is first, because the reversal is almost the opposite of the trend. That's all. It's the opposite of it. Everything I'm telling you about going with the trend, just flip it on its head and turn it the other way. Now, they're coming down a little bit more, okay, because this bar's the midpoint, the halfway point of this bar is below the low of this bar. So they can come down a little bit more. We don't want them to take out, I definitely don't want to see them take this bar out. Now, I'm okay with them getting past these little bars. I am. It's this big one. I really don't want to see them past that. So let's see what happens with that. They're still creating that scenario. And this is how you can know how to, of course, tighten up on your stop and say, hey, I'm going to just go ahead and take profits now, because you can see the participation coming in. and there's no order flow. You don't see any footprint charts. You don't see no moving average on here. You don't see anything. I want you to be able to look at the chart without any other information. That's number one. Use what you're paying for. You're paying for the platform, or you're at least paying fees to trade. I'm sure. In some way, you're going to pay. So, or if not, no more than just getting stopped out. You're going to pay at some point. So, learn how to use what you have. Okay. So, here's the platform. We use it using the frame now. How about of course looking at the time axis through the midpoint, because that stretches forward. So when I say the halfway point, we're using the frame, we're using the time, the invaluable, the thing that they're trying to protect at all costs to keep you from getting your timing right. And so what you're doing is you're taking the halfway point of the chart, the upper half of the chart, and trying to see, can they remain here above the upper half of the chart to keep this market bullish, while at the same time you're counting, you're using the numbers still, because everything they're doing, they don't need footprints and moving averages and stochastics. They don't need that stuff. And I tried to cover that in some of the information here. They don't need that stuff. All right. So there's three roles. I tried to cover that. They don't need the stuff that we're using. We're not capable of placing the orders that they're placing. We're placing orders that we can, place. And so they're doing stuff that's creating this movement. And so their machines are using orders. So I just want to make sure that you understand that. So everything that we're doing, we're using the numbers. All right. So we're using the numbers. Halfway point, upper half. With this right here, that's the time. That's the half, upper half. That's the time. Then we're going to definitely use, of course, the levels, the 95. The 95 up to the, let's see what we got up here. Well, they're not going to get there today. They're not clearly it's not going to get there today. So let's go with I'm gonna break it down for you just a little bit here. So let's go, let's find, okay, let's go. Where did they fall from? Let's see where they fall from first. Okay, 15. So 15, so roughly give or take 15 up to 25, they can turn around. So point 25, 15 up to 25, they can turn. On the way down, you will go 95 down to 85 to see if they'll turn, and then 85 down to 75. Then they went through both of those price levels. It's possible that they're headed towards 55. So the 55 down to 45, you don't want to see them trigger that. So they're still above 55. These are the statics. All right. So 55 down to 45, you want to see if they can turn it back around. Now, the mids are coming into the prior bar. That's good if you want it to slow and turn. That's good. They came in pretty strong here. Remember, the halfway point is below the low or the bottom of this candle. Now, let's go run real quick. We're going to leave Apple here. We're going to run back to our pound. Let's run back to our pound. We're coming right back. We're coming right back. All right, so they're still just sitting here. They haven't broke that bar. Remember, I told you that was one of the setups. They haven't broken it yet. All right, so now let's go back. They may do that, but they haven't done it yet. They're still stalling it out. So let's go back to our Apple. I believe it was just on Apple. These stocks be confusing me sometimes. All right, yes, it was Apple. All right, so let's go back here. Let's go back here. Let's see what happens. Now, they could be wanting to come to the 55 to try to blow that 45. Now, if they blow the 45, they're going down to 25. They can end up at 25. So 25 would be here down to 15. And then from 15 down to 05. Okay, so we don't want them to really make a trend against us. But right now, with them putting that momentum in there like that, that's indicating that they can probably get through this. We didn't want them here taking out this bar if they were to turn back up. Now, clearly I can tell you some other things about it possibly wanting to turn around a bit. I can. There's so many other things I can tell you about. This is not a shocker to me. It's not. But just based on the universal price action method and of course the trend, I have to outline that material. And of course, this is in real time. So while that's doing that, we're gonna come back. Apple, pound. We've gone there that far. Let's go to AMD. AMD, yeah, they're trying to do it. So there's your there's your scenario. This mid is falling below this low, the bottom. They're up there. No close. This is a no close bar. No close back above this price. What is the high here? 1421. What is the close here? And so where is that close? 1421. So I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong candle. 1420. So they came within one tick and they're turning back around. So hard stop there, no close there. They're trying to come down. I don't suspect that they'll want to stop in this area. I don't. They definitely may want to come, and that's because of the behavior, and they're still picking up speed. So they're going to want to come down more. So people that's trying to buy this on the way down, you got to read what they're doing currently. So now we only have one, two, three. This could be four. Now the halfway point of the chart is here. Okay, halfway point. No, I'll say about right here. Right about here. I'm trying to eyeball it. Right about here. And the upper part of the chart is roughly right about there. So let's see what happens. Of course, you do have that scenario with these two bars. So this will be a no close hard stop here. There's nothing here as far as that particular setup. And remember, they're gaining speed and they're regarding the no close from the high. Okay, they're regarding that. That's a problem. All right, but let's see. One, two, three, four. So that's AMD. Now let's take a look at crude oil. Let's take a look at crude oil. I might get the wrong contract here. Let's go here. All right, yeah, let's do that. So they got a downtrend. Let me just X out of this one. They got a downtrend here. They got a downtrend. They do. They're right at the middle of the chart. They can lift up a little bit, but we know that the halfway point is like way up here. All right, so this bar's low. I mean, this bar's midpoint is below that bar's low. Okay, a bottom, if you will. And of course, this bar's midpoint is above the top or the high of this candle. And so they're getting ready to get, kind of stuck in between two areas here. They shouldn't come past here. This is a hard stop here. I mean, hard stop here, no close here. I'm sorry. And it's in the reverse. No close, hard stop. And let's see if they'll turn back around and try to head down some more. They're in the downtrend. Again, at a glance, this is a 1 minute chart. Want to try to find what's likely. So we only have one, two, three. That's only three bars. They're not up. They can fall again. So without getting too far ahead of ourselves, yeah, they went through that bar. They couldn't hold it. All right. So remember, this bar's low or bottom is below, I mean, above the midpoint of here. No close here, hard stop there. They tried to stall here. They did. Now remember, they're probably coming to the center of our chart. All right. So now they're giving you that scenario again. Now the overlap, okay, the overlap was all in this information. Well, right here, that was that separation. They tried to give it to you on that push. They did, because you had that separation there with that bar's low, not touching that mid, hard stop here, no close here. And they tried to hold that for about three candles, but then they came back up and then they, had the overlap going again. Now, that's the chop. Remember, that's the chop. Whenever you see the mids going into each other, that's the chop. Now, this bar's high is below this bar's mid, and they tried to hold that stop for just a couple candles there, but just couldn't get it to work. Now, remember, this is chop. All right. So wherever you see the mids overlapping, that's the chop. And so now they're showing you the speed again. There's the speed again. There's the speed again. So you would, well, let's see if they'll pull that mid back into that candle, because this is a real time thing. You don't have to wait until the bar closes. If they bring that mid back into that candle, that's not the setup. You get ready to get the chop. You get ready to get the back and forth, and that's not what you want. But let's see if what they do when they come to the mid of the chart. Now let's go back to our stocks. We want to try to rotate again. Our time is winding down. I do not want to hold you much longer. Yeah, so they come into the 55. So yep. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're gonna probably give you the 7. So all right. So here, yeah, this was, yeah, okay. So yeah, this is that one. So yeah, they got a downtrend now. They got a downtrend now. So that's my time with you. Let's take a look at the meta one more time. Let's see what was going on with that. All right, so yeah, they're trying to make a downtrend here. So they're trying to downtrend on this information here. Let's go back to the hourly so you can see what that looks like. All right, but you're still up here. Okay, clearly this bar is high. It's not touching that mid. They can go through that high. All right, they can. So, and they definitely they had chop here, and they got past this scenario. Remember, this bar's low isn't touching that mid. They closed above there, took out the stop there, so they could still get through that high from an hourly standpoint. All right, so what's happening on that 1 minute may not last. Now let's go. We already looked at. Let's look back at Apple real quick, but we got to come back to our 1 minute, and then I'm going to let you go. And again, if you want to look at this information at 55, yes, that's 55.55 down to 45. So down to 45. 55 is here. Okay. I think that they can get past this turn, but let's see. They're coming back. They're coming back. I'll give it another moment or so. We'll see what the response is when they get here. We'll see. One, two, three, four, five. That's only six. So yeah, they can turn back up. They can. You're still in the upper part of the chart. It's good that they're trying to step back up at that 55. That's the static level. Okay, 55 down to 45. Let's give it a moment. I want to see if this will play out for you, so you'll know what actually took place. And then let's go back to the oil. Let's see what we're doing. Let's see. Yeah, we're trying to turn it right back around. Okay. Remember, this bar's low isn't touching that bar's midpoint. The halfway point of this bar isn't touching that bar's bottom. That bar's low. No close above here. And they did try that, and then they pushed down again. Hard stop there. All right. So that's important. Now, of course, they can come down into this information here and they can respond. This will be the no close hard stop, but they're at the center of the chart. They're at the center of the chart. So they may be ready to go again, possibly. Now, this bar's low is below the I'm sorry, it's above the midpoint of this candle here. Hard stop and no closes up here, both. So let's see if that'll break down. And let's check on our pound here. Yeah, we're still heading this way. We're still heading this way. They're trying to give you that scenario here, trying to, at least in my ball, and it looks like, but I don't suspect that this is going to work. This is a no close bar. I do know that, here's the midpoint here above the high here. No close bar, hard stop. Now they already tested that before they took and gave you that rally. But you have a problem up here. Okay, so remember, midpoint here, not touching this bar's low bottom, and then the hard stop, no close here. So they got that low below, up above. I'm sorry, above the midpoint here, hard stop here. So they're coming into the midpoint, and that again can give you a target. Let's look at that oil one more time. Yeah, they're trying to turn back around. This is chop. Remember, I told you whenever the mids start going into the prior bar, you're getting that problem. All right, so let's go and look at our Apple and see how that's doing, and then we're gonna take off here. So okay, let's see. Yeah, they're still leaning back over. This is a downtrend, so you really can't, even though it's in the upper half of the chart. Remember, they can try to make it to the center, and so then once you see your downtrend, you measure your distance of your downtrend and then project it forward, and they should be able to give that to you. Now let's take a look at Meta. So yeah, they got a downtrend still in the upper part of the chart. They're trying to come back in there, but this is the no close, and that's the hard stop. Okay, so that's the hard stop. This is the no close level. They're trying to come back, so they're fighting. They're fighting this. All right, so let me try to give it a second here. I want to make sure you can see this information. I want to see what this will do. I believe they can get through it, but let's see. Let's see. I believe they can get right through that. All right, so there, yeah, they accelerated. They picked up speed. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag this down because now we're gonna go down here to the lower half of the chart. Now, let's see, can they get here? Now, again, I suppose to be getting off here because I don't want to stay on here too long with you. But I want to give you a chance to see the information in real time while I read it to you. All right, real time. This is what trading is like for me, slightly. Of course, there's a little bit more that I know and that I can't tell you, and it's important stuff. Long before the market moves, there's some important stuff that I would know before it moves to know what kind of trends I'm going to see in the day. All right, so and where it should happen from, really important stuff, and it's not, of course, just ranges. It's really important stuff to know what the market should put in front of you and where it should happen at. All right, so that's important. Now that's just now it's come down a little bit because the halfway point is about right there. So we're going to deal with it from right. It is roughly here. So halfway point right about here. Yeah, give or take about right there. I may need to come down just a hair. All right, so halfway point right about here. Okay, right about here for the whole chart. And so that right there, almost. Hold on, let me slide this down a little bit. I'm trying to eyeball it. So you may say, hey, that's pretty good. No, let's just do it like that. Let's be fair. So halfway point here, that's roughly about the halfway point of the lower half of the chart. Now remember, they are going somewhere all the time. They're always going somewhere all the time. And all you want to do is see, can you be a part of the speed? Now, I was off about this. I thought that they would run through that. I really did, but they didn't want to do it. And again, this wouldn't be the first time I missed on something like that. I'll prove it to you. So here on the hourly, okay, I thought that they could get through this top back on the 16th, but I came back on the 20th and told them, hey, there's your trend. They can go ahead and probably go ahead and go down because I wanted to see them get through this high. Now they didn't want to do it, and they made the trend distance. They've been down ever since. And then yesterday, of course, came back and told you, hey, there's a trend distance they tried to offer you here, but didn't want to make it. That's not good. And then they came back and did the trend distance here, and then there was a trend here, and they offered you that distance here, but this time they had made a little bit more ground. All right, and so I thought that maybe, just maybe, they'll get through there. I thought so. Now let's look at the hourly. So the hourly, yeah, they at the midpoint of the chart. So yeah, they can turn around. I just knew that they would clip that and then do it. But hey, I was wrong that time. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be wrong. All right. So as long as you get it right when you find out you're wrong, that's the main thing. Once that trend set, and that's the important part. Once the trend set, go with the trend. So if you get it wrong, and I told you that they was gonna probably come past this the way that they were coming into it because they was coming in pretty hot. And so I knew that there was a chance they might get past that. Definitely all bets off when they pass this right here with the way that they were doing it. Just go ahead and take out some of that loss that you would have incurred. Go ahead and take that out, and get that money back and go down. And clearly they should end up here. So more often than not, they're going to land down here. Again, they're putting that speed in it. All right. They're putting that speed in, kind of coming with the overlap right now. But again, this still is a hard stop level because this bar's midpoint isn't touching that low. Then let's go check on our stocks. And then I'm going to go this time. All right. Yeah, we're rolling back over here. We're rolling back over. Let's see what the Apple is doing. Yeah, see, there you go. So yeah, they're coming back. I didn't think that would work. They was trying to blow through that 45. And so yeah, they're picking up that speed. So now you can see how important the universal price action method is, along with yeah, they're trying to hold us, but they're running into a little bit of the problem with that, just a little bit, because remember that's supposed to be the hard stop. Okay, so what is the high here? 2281. What is the high here? 82. So there, yeah, they got above it. Okay, that's good. They got above it. So yeah, they're back at it. So that's good. So yes, so I'm gonna just take a peek at some other ones really quickly here. Maybe you can see something, and I'm not gonna go over it. I just want you to take a peek. No, so you pull up the chart, you should be able to immediately see what the trend is. This one is tricky. This one is tricky. Let's see. One, two, three, four, five, six. They can give you seven, but they putting seven on the inside. One, two, three, four, five, six. There's seven on the inside. So this could pose a problem. I don't like this. I don't like this. And from here, you have an uptrend from here. Well, from here really, and then from here. So you kind of sandwiched it. And when you do something like that, just get the center of the chart and start doing what we're doing with the price scale. All right. So now I'm gonna go back to our oil. Let's take a look at our oil again. So oil decided to come down there and want to reference this information here, and they got above the no close, and see that's the hard stop here. This is the hard stop, not too far above the center of the chart, not too far above. So let's count our bars: one, two, three, four, five. This could be six. Maybe they'll make an uptrend, try to get back up there. Maybe, maybe. All right, so that's a maybe. All right, so that's my time with you. I hope you have enjoyed the information that I've covered thus far. And again, oh, I told you I would let you know what was going on with futures. All right, so this is the chart that I've covered in all of those videos. If you want to learn step by step what it was, because I started it like it was way back here, and the chart was like it was way back here. Started it over. It was definitely over here somewhere. Yeah, it was over here somewhere. I do remember this bar. I do remember that bar because I was, of course, referencing this price level. I gave them the price level here. And so there's your 1-2. You can see your 1-2 there. There's the mid, holding that mid. And told everyone this morning they had, of course, came back and closed beneath that midpoint. That can create a problem for this turn. But they had a trend up. They never made the trend down. There was six here, not seven. And so they turned around and rallied yesterday. Now, up here, there was a price level that I know is significant to them. And so I knew that they could turn. However, I can't tell the public that. So here's the ranges. That's important. Again, information that I gave away. And then I came back yesterday and I said, hey, be careful because they was on this bar, and I told them not to buy this bottom because I thought this bar would close beneath that level. I was just wrong at this point. I do know that there's something here that they can come back and take this bottom out, but there's just static from 550 down to 450. All right. So static down there from 550 to 450. they can definitely try to get back above if they can hold this for days. That's the key because on the daily, I just went over this morning. There's your midpoint. There's the open of your bar. These two are important. The open that's higher. The bar got to close higher than the first green bar. The open of that bar is important. There's 3 days that hit that open, 4 days in total, referencing the mid. Then you had the open of the second bar that's lower. There's the midpoint here. There's your statics here. All right. So there's your statics from both sides. Now, because they went outside the static up here, that's interest to go even higher to the next one. All right. So the next one would be somewhere like 150, 250, right in that area there. And of course, the target level would be up at 550. So 16,550, that's where they may want to go next. All right. So just went over that information there, and you can definitely tell on the way up. On this platform, I have the NCs and the Cs for the consecutive closes outside the highs. I have that, and so the NCs is for the no close, and then I have levels for the bars. All indicators I coded, price action indicators. That's all I have with the information that I provide in private. So private training, you get indicators and loads of price action indicators to help you be able to read the chart. All right, so that's what you have. We can take another quick peek. That is the hourly, though. We're looking at the hourly, but those are the ranges. Now, if you would like to get the ranges, all right. So if you would like to get ranges, you can come over to the channel. Remember, that's your edge. You can get those ranges right here to learn those range times. All right. So that's really, really important that you learn that stuff. And again, if you want to learn about any of this other information you see on the chart, if you want to do that, even this information here, I discussed all of that information within minutes. All right. So you don't have to go and sit and watch somebody and webinars talk to you and be egotistical, throw a lot of stuff in front of you that's just completely useless. I like to save time. So I may try to give you information based on 8 minutes, 9 minutes, to everything less than 10 minutes down here. All right. So just try to give you some useful aspects and skills within, of course, less than 10 minutes. All right. So if you want to learn anything outside of what I covered today, go ahead and go into the that playlist and take a look at that. And again, I wish you all the best with your trading. If you have enjoyed the content, please do me a favor, hit the like button. Hit the like button. I drop charts. I take my time to show you how to look at the markets in a very specific, objective manner. All right. So just want to give something that I didn't have when I first started trading. I'm self-taught trader. So want to kind of fill that space, give you something that's useful, and at the same time fulfill an obligation to myself to care about someone else outside of myself. All right. So wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.